Let's talk about the Fantastic Four. I have watched it, and I'll tell you right now, it's not a terrible movie. It's all right. But it also has a lot of problems. Like Superman, it's very much a TikTok movie. It moves incredibly fast. They cut a lot of stuff out of this movie. And you can confirm that by just taking note of the fact that they cut John Malkovich's scene. I forget who he was playing, but his character was cut from the movie. I think they cut a lot of stuff out of this movie because the movie is like wham, bam, and done. Just like Superman. Now, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad because of that. In fact, I quite like that it didn't drag, but it feels like something's missing from the movie. I don't know how to explain it, but it was kind of underwhelming. It's not really a lot of fights. The Galactus fight is kind of underwhelming. Reed Richards doesn't even really use his powers. I'm so underwhelmed by him in this movie. This is a comic book movie. I want to see what a character can do. I want to see them use their powers. I want to see them do stuff. And you get to see Reed use his mind, but his stretching is very lackluster. He just swings around like Spider-Man. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff that he could do, and they didn't do any of it. Netflix does a better job on One Piece showing somebody with stretching powers. I think everybody is fine. The cast is fine. Pedro plays a great Pedro in this movie. A lot of people saying they see Reed. I just don't see it. But overall, not a terrible movie, but also not great. I would give it a 5 out of 10. I liked Superman a little bit more. I think Superman was a little bit more fun to watch. And what I mean by that is Superman never wore out its welcome to me while I was watching it. This movie, it ends at just the right moment because I was just starting to be ready to get out of there. I was kind of ready to go. And thankfully, somebody found the perfect runtime for this movie. But, you know, I'm also more of a Superman fan than a Fantastic Four fan, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. In all honesty, they're probably on the same level. If you enjoyed Superman, you'll probably like this. I don't think either of them are masterpieces by far. But this is, one thing I'll agree with is this is definitely probably the best Marvel movie in a long time since Endgame. I think No Way Home is better, and I also think Deadpool and Wolverine is a better movie. It's more fun. Audiences seem to like it. 93% over on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% all audience, top critics at 80%. So I guess the real question, right, is how is the movie performing? And it looks like it's going to have a similar opening in every way to Superman. The big question that I have now is, will it have legs like Superman? Superman hit $500 million today, I believe. Superman has legs. So I think Superman is more than likely going to hit. I mean, it's going to hit $600 million now for sure. The question I have is if it will hit $700 million. I think if that movie hits $700 million, it's a success. Barely. Because they still spend a shit ton of money on it. But I think $700 million is a good number for that. And probably for this movie, too. I know they kept the budget down. So we'll see. But there's an interesting thing that happened with this movie. There was a big dip from Friday to Saturday. It was front-loaded. So there's kind of evidence here that, once again, we can say that people are a little tired of Marvel shit. So globally, it looks like the movie is at 218. I really thought it was going to hit 225. So I was a little off, but pretty close. But still, I mean, that's not a massive opening. Still has the same international problems as Superman. So, I mean, It's not an amazing number. The international was really weak. Like I said before, this movie's going to need to have domestic legs. Fantastic Four First Steps lighter at $118 million, but still super in opening. So here's what they have to say over at Deadline. Fantastic Four First Steps is coming in lighter at $118 million after a 42% slide on Saturday against Friday previews for what was $33.2 million. As we said yesterday, cynics go pound sand, $100 million plus opening for the industry. What major studio wouldn't want that? Well, probably one that spent shitloads of money on the movie, as Disney Marvel probably did for this one. So they probably want a little bit more. This movie is very expensive, I'm sure. So if they lose money on it, it's not going to be good because they're not going to make as much money on the second weekend for sure. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll have the same hold as Superman. And they need to hold out for that hope because Superman's holding pretty good. Like I said, it's got a little legs. So this movie's going to need legs as well. The word of mouth seems positive. That might help it. Worldwide debut is 218, which is 2 million shy of Superman's initial global pounce. Still, that's a steep Friday previews to Saturday decline, which indicates the movie was front-loaded. Nobody was spotting that yesterday. The lowest was a $120 million debut, and families always go to the movies on Saturday. Fantastic Four's fall is sharper than Superman's 33%. Thunderbolt's 22%, and Deadpool and Wolverine's 36%. Captain America Brave New World was at 32%. That's not good. If this comes in lower than Captain America Brave New World, that's a disaster. What happened? Essentially, fewer families went to see Marvel's first family than DC Studios' Superman. Go figure. Superman looked more family-friendly because of the dog. That's really, I think, the bottom line there. I think the dog looked family-friendly. But, you know, what do I know? I could be dead wrong there. According to Intelligence, while metro centers with populations over 1 million overperformed on Fantastic Four First Steps, rural and suburban areas where families live underperformed on average 13%. Also, kids under 13 only repped 8% of the population. Wow. What was Superman's? I don't have this in here, but I would like to see, how did Superman perform with kids versus this movie? Because you would want kids to come to this. That's like the biggest thing, so they stay fans and they keep going to see shit. You need to bring in those younger people. Especially for comic book movies. This is a very important audience. It doesn't mean Fantastic Four is broken. It's just a crappy thing when the industry overprojects on a big movie during its opening weekend and it comes in lower by Sunday and Monday. Disney figures that Fantastic Four will ease 16% today with 27.8 million. The norm attendance for families to a PG-13 movie is 21% per Intelligence. Fantastic Four came in at 17%. So that is where we're at. Now, you know, there's some surprising stuff here on this box office. Eddington is, of course, a complete piece of shit failure. But I am a little surprised by how poorly I Know What You Did Last Summer is doing. Not that I didn't have any intention to seeing this, but it's still a cheap horror reboot on a brand that people remember. Scream was really big. I'm kind of surprised that this is as low as it is. I mean, that's really bad for this movie. I thought it'd do a little bit better. Smurfs isn't doing that good. F1 is still rolling around, and so is Jurassic World Rebirth. Like I said, Superman is around 500 with the international now, so that's pretty impressive. We'll see how things go, but Marvel better hope that this movie has some legs. We'll see. But if this ends up having a Captain America downfall, that's going to be really bad for Marvel because this is their big reboot. I think the movie is fine. It's by no means a masterpiece, but if you enjoyed Superman, you're going to get about the same out of this, I think. Some people like this and hate Superman. It's fine. You can like whatever you want, but I think they're pretty similar in many ways. I just think Superman was a better time. But that's my personal opinion. Neither of them are really blowing the doors off at the box office, but it's just going to depend on how things go in the long run. There's not really much else coming out, so what is the next big movie? I can't think. It's off the top of my head, and I can't think of it, but that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Did you see the movie? What did you think of it? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.